Uh, oh, we're off to a great start. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Um, that took a little longer than I thought. um, yeah, so it's been almost a year. But we're back. So, I'm gonna turn me down a little bit because I see that I'm peaking a little bit here. I hope we have game audio. I guess we'll find out. It's probably just a little. Oh, I saw something there. As I said, the menu sounds for TS Classic are quiet. So, so yeah, it's been almost a year. As you can see, I moved, which was the original reason for my hiatus. Which happened last July. And so I did that, and I got settled with that, and then right as I got settled, my parents started the process of moving themselves. And so I was putting in quite a bit of time helping them with that, and so between balancing that and balancing my job and everything else, this just kind of fell by the wayside. So, but they're moved now. Everything's kind of settled back down, which is great. And we're going to get back to doing some streams and some trains, and some other stuff. Couple of big things, excuse me, couple of big things, I want to cover, before we jump in. First of all, most of you probably already know this as fans of the game, but, Train Simulator 20XX is no more. DTG have, ended that practice, of just updating the year name, every year, and now it is just Train Simulator Classic, I think, to kind of differentiate it from, obviously, Train Sim World, and make it more, I don't know, but yeah, no more 20XX, which is kind of nice. It's just classic. And so, yes, that is really all that needs to be said about that. Secondly, recently we had the launch of the Enhanced series. So those of you who are on the Facebook page, will, probably not remember, this because only like 3 of you answered it, but, excuse me. I put a poll out, I don't remember how long ago now, asking you if you wanted me to start using third-party ad sets in my scenarios. And like I said, there were only like 3 responses, and so I didn't feel like that was enough to give a really, really, a big enough sample size to really make any kind of drastic decision like that. And I kind of laid out my reasoning for wanting to do that in the post, but just as a brief summary, it's become very, very difficult, to make scenarios that are as accurate as I would like them to be, within the confines of, Steam Workshop. And what I mean by that is, there's a lot of, not just full-on trains that are missing, from the game, but there's also a lot of, liveries for existing trains, that are not available, and one I specifically cited was, my interest in making scenarios set in the, kind of late 90s, early 2000s, especially in Britain, kind of that early privatization, late sectorization, excuse me, time period. It's extremely difficult to do that using assets that are available on Steam, because there's really just no very, very few early liveries represented on Workshop. The only one I can think of offhand really is the Trans-Pennine Express livery for the Class 158 pack, which is ancient at this point. And I guess there are some Central Trains liveries also in the Class 158 pack, but also in the Class 156 pack, the discontinued 150/2 pack, and the Class 170 pack, which is also ancient. Which, I guess so is the Class 156, but it's a little more advanced, so it holds up a little bit better. So, in that sense, it's very, very difficult to kind of reconcile that with my desire, or with what's, with my desire to kind of model that era a little bit more. It's a fascinating era to me. And I mean, it's not just, I know I'm kind of leaning heavily on the British example, but, it's also true of, American trains. Liveries are a little bit more well represented, but, certain types of rolling stock aren't, and, this, that, and the other thing. Not going to belabor the point too much here, but, so that's kind of the and I guess kind of my leading example for this is Loads for Long Gannett, which came out a couple weeks ago here. If you play the Steam version of that, you'll notice that it is all Class 170s. It's all Turbo Stars. Doesn't matter if it's for a Glasgow to Edinburgh train. Doesn't matter if it's for a 5 Circle train. Doesn't matter if it's for a Scottish East Coast train. They're all 170s. And because there's no first ScotRail Class 158 on Steam, there's an Abellio Class 158 which comes with the 5 Circle line, which is great for kind of current day or post. What would that be? 2008? No. 2011? I don't know. Whenever Abellio took over the ScotRail franchise from First Group. And so, and there's, a first ScotRail Class 170 livery in the Class 170 pack. And so it was extremely frustrating not being able to kind of fulfill the vision I had for the scenario. And so, long story short, I did decide that while it wasn't I don't want to say fair, but I didn't quite feel comfortable making such a massive shift in the things I do like that. And plus, you can only really use Armstrong Powerhouse enhancements on Steam because those are technically based on existing assets. You can't use you can't use things like the Class 321 pack, which I used in the scenario we're going to talk about today. Or, any of their wagons, like the classic BAA, BZA, steel carriers, and so on and so forth. And so, really, even just doing it on Steam would have kind of hamstrung me a bit. And so, I decided that I would just do both. I would keep the standard flavor of the scenarios and, that I currently release, and I would do the enhanced versions, really just for me, just to tickle that kind of OCD, need to make it as accurate as humanly possible kind of tick, for lack of a better term. And so those are on Transcend Community, as I said. And so, I just said this when I announced it on Facebook, but this is not, in any way meant to, replace, my workshop content. I want to make that very clear. Like, this is an additional thing that I'm doing, because I want to. Because it's something I feel very passionate about, and something I want to do. And so I really don't care if anybody plays them. I would appreciate it if you did, but even if nobody plays them, I'm just doing it because it's something I want to do for me. So, with that being said, that's basically the enhanced series. I did say on Facebook every scenario is getting an enhanced counterpart. That's not quite true. There are going to be a few scenarios that aren't going to need enhanced versions, or it's just not going to be worth doing an enhanced version because there's not enough third-party stuff representing what I'm doing to really make it worth it. But there are going to be some enhanced series scenarios that don't have a Steam Workshop counterpart. Because, like I said, like a modern day Huddersfield line scenario probably isn't going to have a Workshop equivalent, because there's just nothing on Workshop to kind of cover the void of Trans-Pennine Express content that currently exists. So, but that's the enhanced series. Nothing's changing in the way I make my Steam scenarios. You're still getting Steam scenarios. I'm not abandoning Steam. So, with all that waffling, we are going to be playing one of the enhanced series. One of the 3 that I released a couple of weeks ago. One was the enhanced version of Loads for Long Gannett, and the other was an enhanced version of Spirit of 199 on the Arizona Divide. And this one, Fife-ET, which is the enhanced version of High Speed Fife. So, also, all the British ones aren't going to be for the Fife Circle line. It just kind of worked out that way this time. So, but no, I will be broadening my horizons. So, enough waffling. Let's do some trains. It's a rare sunny day in Scotland. You are in charge of train 1 Echo 15, the 0952 LNER service from Aberdeen to King's Cross. You have stopped at Kirkcaldy to pick up passengers. After that, you will finish the run to Edinburgh, where the next driver will take over. You have stops at Inverkeithing and Haymarket en route, and an LNER Azuma for traction. Ooh. Oh, that's right, the schools class came out this week, as well as a new train set for the Just Trains Chinese high-speed network route that I can't remember the name of. Alright, driver, let's open the doors. The departure time is 11:48 and a half. Let's see. Shift W. Oh, train alarm off. AWS off. Whoops. F3 HUD, Control D for the DVD. And technically we can't cite the next signal, so we should leave the DVD on, or the DRA, oh my god. But since technically we would be mid-run, at this point. We can turn it off, assuming we passed our green signal before our stop here at Kirkcaldy. Apparently I did not open the doors either. I just want to make sure. Yeah, for some reason the doors don't open on the LNER Azuma for me. I'm not sure why. It's kind of goofy. I am using the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 800 803 Enhancement Pack. As you might have guessed, turn the reverser off. Otherwise the DSD or the DVD is going to keep going off. And I don't want a turn on. No. Is it shift period? Oh, there it is. Control period. I don't want an emergency brake application. The current speed limit is 65, but because the Azuma accelerates so slowly on diesel mode, we're not going to get to 65 before we pass that 75 speed limit you can see there. So I'm just going to set the speed set for 75. Good. Next up is invert Keithing. Arrival time is 12:03. Whoops. I went too far. AWS operational. Yeah. Game seems like it's a little quiet. Turn it up. Oh, it's because I've got it almost muted. This isn't a very loud train, so. I will say, I know the Azumas kind of get, or the IETs in general kind of get a bad rap for looking kind of samey. Which, I mean, I guess I kind of understand, but I really like the look of the LNER 800s and 801s. I think they look really slick in the white with the red band. I am a fan. So as you can see, we passed the 75 mile an hour speed board without even getting close to 75. Forgot I had the DVD on. Forgot when I accidentally reset the train, it reset the speed set. So, the scenario has been completely redone with, I think this one was pretty much exclusively Armstrong Powerhouse stuff. Just because there wasn't really a need for anything else. So, this is using the Armstrong Powerhouse 158, 159 Cummins enhancement pack. The Class 800 803 enhancement pack, as I stated, the Class 170 enhancement pack, and the Class 321 pack. And I'm so good at this, I completely ignored that 65-mile-an-hour speed limit, which is further decreasing to a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, and then down to 30, I think, as we pass through, I think it's Burntis Land station. Burntis Land. Oh, no, it's Kinghorn. Oh, wait, no. It's not Kinghorn. This is Kinghorn. Oh, it's not Burntis Land. It's just a... It's just a wibbly bit in the railway. So we are obviously driving a Class 800 in diesel mode. The Class 800 is a bi-mode unit, so they are capable of running under overhead wires. Or off of overhead wires, I should say. Obviously, anything's capable of running under overhead wires, but off of the overhead wires. So, specifically in LNER's case, that would be between London, King's Cross, Leeds, Newcastle, Edinburgh, and Stirling. And then also on some, based off of some onboard generators. So that would be your trains to Inverness and Aberdeen and Lincoln Central. The speed limit went back to 65. So we're accelerating back towards that now as we get a view of the lovely North Sea. I think that's the North Sea. I don't think that's like a bay. But I might have just made myself look silly. Oh no, I guess technically it could be part of the... I guess technically it's the Firth. The Firth of Forth. And that is... It was talking about the bi-mode units. Everything in the Class 800 to 803 enhancement pack is a bi-mode, except for the Class 801. Those are not bi-modes. Those are just straight EMU. They do have an emergency onboard generator, apparently, but it is strictly for emergencies. I think you can barely get up to 60 if the AP manual is to be believed, which I'm sure it is. Having recently bought many Armstrong Powerhouse add-ons, I can say that AP products are substantial in quality. Not that anyone who plays with British trains in this game needs to be told that. I am definitely late to that party. Oops. Snuck above the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit here. This is Burntis Land. Oh my god. Oh, because we're on a downward 1 in 100. But the speed limit is going up to 75 here. Am I going to have to give it... Let's give it a kiss a break. My one quibble with these trains, and it's not even Armstrong Powerhouse's fault, is that I don't believe you could do this in reverse. Which is to say, you couldn't, in Train Simulator, make a scenario where you start at Edinburgh and drive to Kirkcaldy in one of these. Unless, because the way Train Simulator paths trains is that it checks against track directionality. Basically, when you build a route, you have to set which direction trains can travel over a certain piece of track. So, like, for this route, only trains in the up direction can use... The direction we're traveling can use this track, and only trains in the other direction can use the other track. So it checks that. It checks... break here for this 55 so I don't have to speed again. And the other important thing it checks for is track electrification. Overhead catenary in this game is purely aesthetic. It is not what dictates whether or not a route is electrified. You have to set a route as either being electrified or non-electrified. And it doesn't distinguish between third rail and overhead. I got into trouble with that in one of my very early scenarios, which had Class 390s on the London to Brighton routes. So, yeah. So, anyway. So yeah, third rail and overhead wires in this game, purely aesthetic. It does not matter what you put over a piece of track. You have to set it as being electrified. And there's a problem on this route that I discovered when making this version of the scenario. Because the Linlithgow portal, or the Bathgate portal, which are technically the same. This portal, the tracks are not electrified at the stub end of this, in the Glasgow direction. So, going this way, this little bit here beyond the portal isn't electrified. Or, I mean, it is. It has wires, but it's not set as being electrified in the route editor. And so, you can't path electric trains to that portal. The game will be very confused. Well, not confused, it'll just error at you. And so basically that kind of forms the crux of what I was talking about, in that if you start... excuse me. Nice voice crack, dude. If you start at Edinburgh, and you plop the train down in electric mode, the game does not care that this is a probably, I haven't tested this, but most likely does not care that this is a bi-mode train. It just knows that it's an electric mode and that this is an electrified track, and it goes, no. Cannot do. Now, the way you could get around this is to put down a train in diesel mode in the scenario editor, because you can set the traction type in the scenario editor when you put the train down. The way you could get around this is putting a diesel train down at Edinburgh Waverley. And then telling the person playing the scenario to switch it to electric mode for the short stretch out of Waverley that is electrified. And then they can switch back to diesel mode when the wires go away. That will work for the player train. However, that won't work for AI trains. You just would have to put down a diesel mode train and then just kind of live with the fact that it's diesel mode under wire. Which, I mean, for a scenario on this route wouldn't be a big deal. The one I can think of where it would kind of be a big deal is on the Peterborough to York route. If you wanted an AI train that was coming from Lincoln Central. Or a train from Hull, coming off of either the Nottingham to Lincoln line or the Selby to Hull line. Those would have to be operated in diesel mode as an AI train. I don't think, or I know that they can't switch traction types. Hey, we're just going to ignore that I completely blew through that 50 there. Again. It's only limiting here. Can you tell I'm rusty? I've got a 40 coming up for a stop here at Inverkeithing. Now, I don't think it's a huge deal for a Lincoln train because Platform 3 at Newark Northgate is electrified. And so most likely you wouldn't have a train coming into the platform at Newark Northgate. And then, I guess even if you did, coming in a little bit hot here. Gonna overshoot the platform just a hair. There we go. So, okay, I guess it's not really an issue, for Lincoln trains on that route because you're really not going to have an opportunity to see it running incorrectly. I think it would be a bit more of a problem for a train coming from Selby just because oh wait, did I screw that up again? Gosh, dang it. I just wanted in neutral. Alright, whatever. What is it? Good. Next stop is Haymarket. Arrival time is 12:19. Anyway, a bigger deal coming from Selby because, you know, if you're going to pass a train, that's coming off of, or, the Hull line at Templehurst, it's going to be in diesel mode, even though it should really switch to electric mode after it gets onto the East Coast main line before it stops at Doncaster. And so I guess it's a pretty kind of inconsequential possibility because there's only a very short section between Doncaster and Templehurst Junction. So really my beef about AI trains is kind of pointless. And I've spent like the last 10 minutes waffling on this for no good reason. One thing I love about Armstrong Powerhouse units is how satisfyingly clunky the DVD pedal sounds. Like, it's so good. So yeah, well, I guess this scenario, actually the original version of this scenario did have class 158s, they just didn't sound that good. So there in the distance, I believe, is the 4th road bridge, or one of them. I don't remember. There's 2 of them. The Queens Ferry crossing, and that's not the 4th road bridge, that's the Queens Ferry crossing, according to Google Maps. That takes the M90 across the Firth of Forth. That one, I believe, is the 4th road bridge, which takes the A900 across the fourth. The fourth. We, of course, are shortly going to be getting onto the fourth rail bridge. One of the most famous structures in all the world. And honestly, it probably needs little in the way of an introduction. I love the fourth bridge. I've loved it, honestly, since I first laid eyes on it. Probably in a kid's book about trains when I was very young. But yeah, it's just... It's such a gorgeous structure. It really is. I love it so much. And I think it's very well modeled in TS. But yeah, I absolutely love the fourth rail bridge. It probably helps that I'm a civil engineer. So, I mean, just appreciating the beauty of the structure from not only just, like, an aesthetic standpoint, but an actual design standpoint. It's just... It's so good. I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. It is very much on my list of places not only to rail fan in real life and photograph, but also to ride across. And so when I someday make it across the pond to the UK, this will definitely be one of my stops. I just absolutely love this bridge. Truly one of the engineering marvels of the world. So as we come off the bridge, we pass through Dalmeny. I believe is the station here. It is Dalmeny. The speed limit is going up to 80, and then shortly to 90. Diverging here to the right is the chord that connects the Fife Circle line to the Edinburgh to Glasgow line. I don't think it sees much traffic anymore. It used to see coal trains that were bound to Longannet Power Station. They would cross the fourth rail bridge and run around at Dunfermline. That place. Which is, kind of the story behind Loads for Longannet. But then the line via Kincardine was reopened, and then Longannet Power Station closed. So, I don't think that court sees much in the way of action now. It might see some empty stock trains coming to and from the Fife Circle, but I can't say for sure. Hey, we actually got down in time. That's not quite placed in the same spot that the speedboard, or that the speedboard's not quite placed in the right spot, I don't think, but maybe it is. Anyway, it's just a brief slowdown for that bridge. so we can give her full power once again. So I think next is, what, South Gyle? No, it's Edinburgh Gateway, and then South Gyle. So this is Edinburgh Gateway station, which I believe serves the Edinburgh Airport, which for some reason isn't modeled, apparently, according to people who are more familiar with this route in real life than me. So I hear. We were a bit behind schedule at Inverkeithing, but we're going to be a little early coming into Haymarket. This is South Gyle. Get us down to 75 in time for this. One other thing I'm using, which isn't necessary to run the scenario, but I highly recommend, is the Armstrong Powerhouse Track Enhancement Pack. It makes every route it applies to look so much better. It's actually kind of insane how much of a difference it makes. Joining us on the right here is the line from Glasgow Queen Street, as well as Bathgate, Stirling, and Dunblane. So we are now under wire here. So put the reverser or the power handle in neutral and press the N key. And now we should have electric power. Yep, you can see the generator units have turned off, so we are running just purely on electric power now. We did pass a warning for a 50, but I don't care. Diverging to the right is the line towards Miller Hill Yard, which is kind of a bypass around Edinburgh Waverley for freight trains. And then that kind of joins back to the East Coast main line on the other side of Edinburgh Waverley Station. On the right is Haymarket Depot. On the left, is Haymarket Depot. On the right is the line from Mid-Calder Junction, which carries trains from Carlisle on the west, not Carlisle, Carstairs. Well, I guess technically Carlisle, but Carstairs on the West Coast main line. So that's for trains traveling between London Euston and Edinburgh Waverley, as well as trains traveling between Edinburgh Waverley and Glasgow Central via Shotts. And down to 35 as we're coming into Haymarket Station here. And we do have a double yellow at the end of the platform. So I can bring down the power a bit here. I'm actually going to turn... Give it a second there. I'm actually going to turn the speed set off for the rest of the journey into Edinburgh. So I'm just gonna ease it up to the end of the platform here. We're running well ahead of schedule. Overshot it, I think, a hair, but I'm not too worried. Oh yeah, just a hair. Whoop. Oh, I forgot the train doesn't quite fit into Haymarket. Really like the class 32Xs. The 320s, the 321s, the 322s. I think they look nice. I did use these in place of the ancient class 380 and the non-existent class 385. At least for this game, there is a 385 now for Train Sim World. But that's not this game. I really love the way all of those kind of Mark III body shell EMUs sound. Oh, I guess I should have turned on the DRA. Although I don't think you have to on a double yellow. I've heard it both. Oh, there, just went up to green anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I've heard it both ways. I've heard that you only need it on. Good. Next stop is Waverly. Arrival time is 12:25. I've heard you only need it when you're stopped on a red or single yellow signal. And all the various, just for sake of simplicity, I'm not going to discuss all of the various rules for DRA usage. I've seen it that you only need it against red or single yellow signals. I've also seen it that you need it for any restricting signal aspects. So single yellow, double yellow. I think even flashing single or double yellows, I think, technically warrant a DRA set, which I guess makes sense because, you know, you could forget you're on a flashing yellow and then off you zoom to your doom. I'm just going to jam it at the full power because why the hell not? Even though it's only a 35 mile an hour zone. Pull the throttle back. Just very long Haymarket tunnels. Alright, I'm going to start braking for this 20 up here. Brake a little more for this 20 up here. Alright. That signal being green does mean we are cleared into our correct platform at Edinburgh Waverley. We are calling at platform 2, which is on the far side of the station. So we're going to pass platforms 19 and 20, I believe. Or no, sorry, 1 and 19. We're going to pass through, I think, platform 19. And then stop on platform 2 adjacent to platform 20. If I'm not talking out of my ass, which I might be. I know we are going to pass platform. I was talking out of my ass. We are going to pass platforms 1 and 20. Or 19 and 20. I believe we're going to pass through platform 20 or 19. I don't know. I give up. But yes, we are. The point is, but we are cleared into platform 20 as the theater said there, but we are not stopping at platform 20. We're stopping at platform 2. But we are cleared all the way through platform 20 into our stop at platform 2 here at Edinburgh Waverley. It was a double yellow, though, which means we are going to be stopped at a red signal here at the end of platform 2, which isn't too big a problem. It's a pretty generous platform, so we shouldn't have any trouble fitting into it after we scoot around this turbo star in platform 19. So you can see the theater says platform 2 there. We're going to cross over the mid-platform crossovers. Honk at the people floating above the track. Alright, this woman took her sweet time. Worked a little bit. So we kind of snake through the platform here. We're going to be just a touch late, but it doesn't matter all that much. Alright, we are thoroughly ensconced in platform 2. Doors open, DRA on for the next driver because it is a red signal. We're gonna go have a peek at the Class 320 here. Very nice. The Trans-Pennine Express Class 802. Which actually is kind of a nice... These do look kind of nice. I think it's also kind of backwards. I don't know. It's fine. Another Azuma. That's probably going to pass or depart south after our train. Anything? No, nothing out here. More Class 320s. That platform's empty. Oh, there, I got it. Good work, driver. We can hand off the train here and head to the break room. Scenario complete. So that was Fife-ET, the second of 3 enhanced scenarios that are available now on the Train Sim community website. Go there and give them a download and check them out. If you want, like I said, I don't really care. I'm not all that bothered whether or not people do. It's just something I'm doing for me. Oh, I guess this is also a good time to say that if I'm playing a scenario that has an enhanced version to it, I will be playing the enhanced version on stream. I guess is a kind of a good thing to point out right about now. So yeah, there's that. So we are going to do our usual hop across the pond. And I will be right back. Alright, so, we are doing part 1 of Lightning Stripes, which doesn't have a description. I feel like this is going to go excellently. Basically, the gist of the scenario was that, the New Haven's, freight line was, closed by, between, the East Coast and... somewhere in New York. The Maybrook line. I know it's the Maybrook line. I forgot where. Somewhere in New York. Anyway, that line is closed because of flooding. And so trains are detouring via Springfield and the New York Central, which also happens to be the west anchor of the Boston and Albany route that was released recently. Highly recommend. I picked that one up. It is excellent. But anyway. So we have a set of, New York Central, Baldwin shark noses, to take our mixed train up to Springfield. So, fingers crossed. Not a good sign. That's a better sign. New Haven Terminal Dispatch. Good morning. You were cleared to depart for the Springfield line. Whoa! Throaty. Class widths, number boards, instrument lights. Yep, we are cleared to depart. So we've got a healthy train behind us here. So we are departing the famous New Haven, Cedar Hill Yard. A pretty sizable hump yard, as you can see, especially for the era. We are positioned at the north end of the New York-New Haven route. So this is the Northeast Corridor down to New York City. This is the Northeast Corridor. Nope, that's not the Northeast Corridor. That's the New Haven airline to Willimantic. Shoreline to Boston. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does. Okay, apparently that's the route to the Northeast Corridor to Boston. We, of course, are on the Springfield line. One of the bunch of branches. So that's the Springfield line over to Boston. That's the western part of the BNA over to Albany in New York. This is a nice route for caboosing. We're under a 15-mile-an-hour speed restriction until we clear the yard limit here, which we should be doing shortly. This bad boy takes a minute to get moving. So this route is set in the 1950s, which was kind of the probably the butt end of the kind of glory era for the New Haven. This is kind of the era where it started to lose a lot of its traffic base to trucks, and was basically kind of unable to compete as it kind of started bleeding passenger and freight traffic, and really started to go downhill in the mid to late 1960s, before it was kind of foisted upon Penn Central in 1969 by the Interstate Commerce Commission, and that really kind of killed any chance of Penn Central ever being able to drag itself out of this mess it was in. It was probably impossible anyway. But having to take on the New Haven and its inability to generate any kind of significant revenue was absolutely probably the death blow to Penn Central. The speed limit did go up to 50, but it is going down to 30 as we join the Springfield line up ahead here. What's up, Code Monkey? It has been a while. I am doing well, thanks for asking. It has, just had a lot going on in the last year, so... I hope you were well as well. As I say, now it really wants to pick up speed. Good to hear, good to hear. All right. Finally got some good speed on her here. No, I still got the railroad crossing sign. It's just in my living room. It's currently propped up on my mantle. Nope. Set of NYC sharks for power. Gee, that's helpful. Whoops. I don't know why the scenario is so dark. It wasn't this dark when I made it. Workshop does weird things to this game sometimes, I swear. Sometimes, I swear. turn the game down a little bit more, try and hear myself think. HDR lighting is in hell. It's dark right now. That's good. Although I'm not running the DX12 beta right now. I couldn't get OBS to behave, and I thought maybe it was that. I don't think it was. I have been running the DX12 patch. Otherwise, though, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference, to be honest, but... Which I guess is a good thing. You know, don't want it to break things. Still not quite at 60. We are getting close, though. Oops. I love the jointed rail sounds. It's such a nice touch. Try turning down the input a bit. See how that works. Oh, my mic. Ah! There we go. My gain was really high. And just a... There we go. There we go. Okay, that should work. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully we Run out of crossings here soon. Oh, of course. I did turn the mic down in OBS though. I can turn that back up a bit. No, I appreciate it. I wouldn't want to... I would like to make this sound like I know somewhat what I'm doing. One of the reasons I love these backdated routes is that every time you go through one of the towns, you pass through all these line-side industries. You know, little factories that got like one car a week. Which was kind of a staple, actually, of Northeast Railroading. Apparently the 0.5% grade we're on is too much. I don't remember if we go over the Connecticut River Bridge in this part or the next part. Oh no, it's the next part. That's right, because it's in Windsor Locks. We have a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up, but should we? Looks like. Doesn't look like we're running into anywhere goofy. Of course, the problem with this thing not being able to speed up is that it also means it can't hardly slow down. Oh, this one does, yeah. Nope, we are not gonna make it down to 20. Nope, needed a little bit more brake. Yeah, these ones have the hand points because that's technically the switch into the little yard here. The mainline switches are automatic, though. Not a terribly uncommon practice, especially in this era. Here in Little Meriden. Well, I say little. Apparently it's big enough to warrant a 20-mile-an-hour speed restriction. I will when we get out of the 20-mile-an-hour zone, Twix. I will not be flooring it now. You'll have to wait. I know it's been a while, Twix, but you know how this works. What, you mean Temp Dump Simulator isn't an enjoyable experience for you? I mean, I guess technically, but this thing doesn't accelerate all that fast, even in full power. Alright, we should be leaving the speed restriction in just a second. According to the sign, this is Quarry Junction. I could. I've got a couple different versions. Although, I've made my thoughts on the Train Simulator Classic version very apparent. I cannot do that because there is not a Southern Pacific 7551. Oh dear, that does sound eventful. The only time you should be flooring it down the mountain towards San Bernardino is if your brakes failed and you're in a runaway, Twix. That too, but in that case you would become a runaway. Yeah, liquefied brakes is never a good thing. No, we cannot play Runaway Simulator. We don't even have anywhere to run away on this route. It's pretty flat. Damn, bro. Wait a minute, what college, girlfriend? Alright, gonna start breaking early. That photo from the party. Oh! I do know the one. Oh, we are so not making it down to 30. Oh, maybe we are. I spoke too soon. This is actually pretty much perfect. No, I don't want to hit the emergencies. Yep, this is the town of Berlin, Connecticut. I think it's Berlin, Connecticut. It might be Berlin, Massachusetts, but I'm pretty sure it's Connecticut. Oh, duh, we're still south of Hartford. So yes, Berlin, Connecticut. I mean, fair enough, but, you know. As an American, I feel like I should know where I am relative to, you know, most state capitals. It does indeed, Twix. It does indeed. Yeah, the lighting settings are normal. It was fine in the last scenario. And no, this scenario should be set in summer, so I don't know why it's so dark. If you look at the screenshots for the workshop posting, the sunlight was correct, so... My guess is something got screwed up when I downloaded this back off workshop. I don't believe in sunlight. Especially now with it being 90 degrees this week. Well, to be fair, from what I understand... Hold on, let me convert that back here. (26°C) is pretty warm for Scotland, isn't it? 26, 27. Above 20. It's only 68 Fahrenheit. That's a lovely spring day for me. I mean, yeah, give me a 68-degree day in, like, April with sun and a nice breeze, and you'll find me trackside and bliss. Hey, New Britain. Wonder if it's anything like Old Britain. Springfield Line Dispatch. Hello, I'll be holding you at Meadows Track 4N to await northbound passenger traffic. Don't worry about stopping at the signal. There's no traffic scheduled in or out of Hartford Yard. Oh, my guess is that's because the destination marker overlaps the signal. Oh, no, it doesn't. Apparently, I'm just giving you permission to drive like, a moron who forgets that there's a speed limit coming up. I'm not sure why it's Hartford Union Station. As far as I can tell, there was only ever... As far as I know, only the New Haven ever served Hartford. I guess there probably was some obscure short line in, like, the 1860s that went for, like, 5 miles and died, like, 10 years after it was founded. But technically, I guess as long as they shared the station, that would be enough to classify it as a Union Station. Just gonna let it coast down to 15 as we come up on the station here. That's supposed to be flange squeal? Griffins. Kind of a mess of track here. Can't believe this is supposed to be flange squeal. It sounds like somebody wheezing. Oh, okay, yeah, you can get to most of the yard tracks. Ah. Huh? No. Oh yeah, I'm sure most trains in this game have what could be generously described as truly fascinating flange squeal. The 91. I believe it. I don't know what's so hard about flange squeal of all things. Like, just go to your nearest railroad curve and hit record. Yeah. Anything but whatever it is they come up with. Oops. 5. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think you get that with most um, forms of continuous weather rail. It's kind of like a pinging kind of sound. Alright. Sounds like we've got some time. Join me for a cup of Joe. The cup of Joe is optional. Improper horn use twice. It's not a thing in the U.S. Alright. That's pretty much gonna do it. No stream next week. I am helping my parents install a utility sink in their new house. So yeah. We'll do part 2 in 2 weeks. And then we're probably gonna have to do an every other thing for the next couple of weeks, or the next few weeks. But hopefully in July we can get back in the more weekly swing of things. Until then, links are in the places. I should probably add the Train Sim community link now that I'm doing the enhanced series there. So, would you rather every other or none other Twix? Nah, it's fine. I've been wanting to get back. So, yeah. Links. I have a job. Anyway, links in the places. You know the drill. Or you don't. Whatever. I don't know. I suck at promoting myself. Alright. I'm gonna end this instead of sitting here waffling, so I will see you all next time. Bye.